Hello, everybody. This is Bruce Morgan of The Bruce Morgan Show. We've got some sad news to report today. It's January 17th as I'm recording this. I just got back to my house last night after some camping off the grid, and we've learned David Lynch, director of Twin Peaks and many other films and other projects and artwork and other projects, has died at 78, the age of 78, earlier this week. Now, I wanted to touch on this because I'm a big fan of the works of David Lynch. And I just wanted to go through, if you've never seen any of the movies or shows from David Lynch, I will give you a little guide on what to check out so that we can remember David Lynch properly and enjoy his work. Maybe bring it to a new audience and all of that. I have also gone to the Twin Peaks. So David Lynch with Mark Frost created Twin Peaks, the TV show, in the late 80s, early 90s. And recently, around 2017, did a season 3 on Showtime, limited series. And we can get into that. But up in Snoqualmie, Washington, which is just a few hours north of me, I've been to the Twin Peaks Festival a few times, so I wanted to go through some of my photos from the first time I went to the Twin Peaks Festival. Some of the shots from the show, we'll go through those, and you can see those here. But in any case, let's see. Let me find my mouse. So what all have I enjoyed of David Lynch's work? I mean, he's done so many great things. So yeah, 1990. Twin Peaks. So there was the original first season, which was very short. It was only like 8 episodes that they did in the season, what they called season 1. And they end on a cliffhanger, which got them the ability to do a season 2. And they filmed a season 2. And somewhere in season 2, David Lynch went off and he had to direct Wild at Heart with Nick Cage and Laura Dern, which should be in here somewhere. Maybe it's not. He's done so many things, guys. But season 2 had a little bit of a weird lull to it. It's kind of a murder mystery soap opera. And this was before there were a lot of quirky, supernatural sci-fi murder mysteries on TV. So Twin Peaks was kind of like, it inspired a lot of things. So if you think of some of these shows like The X-Files, it was heavily inspired by shows like Twin Peaks. And then, so they ended season 2. Season 2 had like 20 episodes, so it was much longer as a full season. But they ended on another cliffhanger. The problem was they had moved the show to a night where nobody wanted to watch network TV. This was way before streaming. This was back in like 1990, 1991. And they didn't get the ratings they needed for a season 3. And so they were sort of taken off the air on a cliffhanger, which was, pretty crazy. But what David Lynch and Mark Frost were able to do was do a movie, Fire Walk with Me, which is kind of like a prequel to the whole show. So my advice to you guys is, if you're going to watch this now, number 1, start with Twin Peaks season 1, then watch season 2. And season 1, the pilot, you kind of have to forge through it because it's a lot of long drawn out reactions to this murder mystery. Okay. And you got to get through it. But once you get into it, into like episode 2, 3, 4, you will be hooked. There's some anachronisms, there's old rotary dial-up phones and all that jazz, because it's like 1989, 1990, okay? But it's a great show. Watch season 1, then watch season 2, then watch the prequel, Fire Walk with Me. And here's the thing. For me, I had to watch Fire Walk with Me multiple times before I really considered it a movie that I enjoyed, because I had to really understand I had to sit back and drink in what was going on in this movie, because it's very abstract, okay? It's very surreal. And you kind of have to get through that in order to appreciate it. And then there's a 2017 Showtime series, season 3, Twin Peaks. You can go watch that after Fire Walk with Me. And then season 3 will make more sense. It won't make perfect sense because it's a David Lynch film, but it will make more sense. Now, David Lynch has also made a lot of great movies, and I would highly recommend checking all these out. He's probably kind of famous for, He made Eraserhead when he was an art student, and it took him like 10 years to make this movie, like gathering footage. What's my dog doing? He's stretching. But it took him like 10 years to make Eraserhead with his buddies and his sets, and he would build the sets himself and do all the stuff, and it's filmed in black and white, and it's his most surreal work. Okay, so if you want to, you can go watch Eraserhead. Um, it's very interesting, but it's the least accessible thing he's done. But then, um, it's a very interesting story. Mel Brooks, saw Eraserhead and loved his filmography. So he got him the job to do The Elephant Man, which is another black and white movie. I don't know where it is in this list. We need to, how do I see more? Can we see this whole list? See more. I always want to see more. Um, yeah, let's see. Where, oh, geez. Look at all this stuff. I don't know what any of this is. Let's go find, where's The Elephant Man? There it is, The Elephant Man, 1980. Okay. And he did that, and that's a good one. I would watch that because it's sort of it's its own movie, it's its own story, but it has a lot of Lynchian David Lynch elements to it. But it's not a full-on David Lynch movie that he wrote and directed himself. But because of the success of Eraserhead and The Elephant Man, he was put. They wanted him to do like one of the Star Wars movies too, like Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. Maybe it was Return of the Jedi, but he got picked up to do Dune, which like, how do you do Dune? It's a huge undertaking, right? Like it's just crazy, and it's not David's story, right? It's this book or series of books, and it's very difficult to do. But the nice thing here was David Lynch cast a lot of people that he would later work with in other good David Lynch movies. So, people kind of panned David Lynch's version of Dune. The final edit wasn't his edit, so he didn't even want his name put on the first director's credit. And there was a lot of drama. But he forged on. And if you're going to watch one David Lynch movie, guys, this is the one I recommend. Blue Velvet. He made Blue Velvet in 1986. This has Dennis Hopper, Isabella Rossellini, and our good friend Kyle MacLachlan. And I think if you're going to watch one movie that sort of encapsulates David Lynch, this is it, Blue Velvet. And there's others you should watch as well, but that's the one I would start with if you're going to watch a David Lynch movie. And then with Twin Peaks, the TV show, I've gone through the order. You should watch that in as well. So those are great. In addition, 19, after that, 86. So he did the Twin Peaks, and then, he did the Wild at Heart, which I mentioned, which kind of like put a lull on the season 2 of Twin Peaks. But then he did some good movies in the later 90s as well. So there was Lost Highway, which has Bill Pullman, and it's very good. I think Patricia Arquette's in it, and Balthazar Getty. This is real interesting. That's another one I would put high on the list. Like maybe like watch that second or third after Blue Velvet. And then another one, which a lot of people consider, where is it here? We got to find it. Mulholland Drive, 2001. Okay, so we've passed the late 90s. But this Mulholland Drive, of course, with Naomi Watts, is just an amazing movie in and of itself as well. So I would also put that like, that's a good sort of trilogy. Like if you're going to have movie night, Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, if you can find these movies. He did Inland Empire with Laura Dern. This is a longer movie and it's way more surreal. And they filmed it with like mini DV film cameras. So it's not like photographic film, it's digital film. So it's very like dreamy and weird. So that's another one. It's difficult to get into, but it's kind of rewarding if you are into the more surreal stuff like Eraserhead and movies like that. Okay. And then on Netflix 2017, he did this interesting short with a monkey called What Did Jack Do? I don't know if that's still on Netflix, but if it is, it's kind of an interesting, it's like a half-hour thing. Go check it out. And pretty much any of this stuff he's done, I really dig it. So that's my recommendations, guys. If you're going to get into Twin Peaks, watch season 1, season 2, then watch Firewalk with Me, the movie, then watch season 3, the Showtime limited series. If you're going to watch David Lynch movies and you've never watched these before, give Blue Velvet a shot. maybe Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive. It's good stuff. Okay, so next I want to look at a Instagram post from Kyle MacLachlan, who has been in Twin Peaks, Blue Velvet, Dune, and other David Lynch projects, longtime David Lynch collaborator and friend. Kyle writes, 42 years ago, for reasons beyond my comprehension, David Lynch plucked me out of obscurity to star in his first and last big budget movie, that would be Dune. He clearly saw something in me that even I didn't recognize. I owe my entire career and life, really, to his vision. What a great tribute. You can read the whole thing over here on Instagram. He was great in Blue Velvet. He was great in Twin Peaks, and I think that helped him, further his career in things like, is it Sex and the City and the Portlandia and other projects like that. He has a big tribute here. He says, David, I remain forever changed and forever your Kale, because he would say Kyle as sort of with a long A. Thank you for everything. And then even Naomi Watts here has replied, oh, what a wonderful tribute. Broken heart emojis, sending big love. I know all the good memories will be missed, but trust they will keep you smiling too. No one like him. He loved you so. XXX. Indeed. And so I wanted to go through and look at some of my own photos from the first time I went to the Twin Peaks TV show festival up in North Bend, Washington, Snoqualmie, Washington, up there. This was back in 2015. This was before they had announced that they were going to do a season 3 on Showtime. So it was pretty easy. I kind of went last minute when I realized there was a film festival happening there. I got a room at a local B&B and stayed up there. It's very scenic and picturesque and has a lot of good Twin Peaks vibes, Pacific Northwest vibes, especially depending on the weather. I think when we went there, the weather was we went there in the summertime, but the weather was still a little rainy and overcast, as you'll see. So let's go over here. So I drove up there, and the first place you go is the old high school, which is where they filmed scenes for some of the Twin Peaks episodes, especially in the pilot. So what they did was they filmed the pilot and the prequel movie up there on location, and then used a lot of the footage from that in the rest of the TV show, which they mostly filmed down in California on sets. So they filmed a lot of footage up here in this area. So we got to see all these filming sites. And one of them was this high school, which has been since torn down, and they rebuilt a new high school, as they tend to do to make bigger and better high schools for the kids. But I got to see it before they did all that. Welcome to Twin Peaks, yeah. And that was called Mount Si High School. So we hung out there. We got our welcome packets and all that jazz. There's me. I got my badge. The clouds were just looking real nice that morning. 2015 Twin Peaks Film Festival. You get a secret packet of information from the FBI. They had a whole setup here with all the donuts, because donuts are a big thing from the show. And so we had a big donut spread. It was a really good time. Met a lot of people. I'd actually followed David Lynch and Twin Peaks on LiveJournal. This predated Facebook and all that stuff. I'm on Facebook here, but on LiveJournal. So I literally knew from the internet some of the people from the LiveJournal group that were here at this thing. So this was a good time to meet people. There was Rob. He ran the show, ran the trivia. They did the trivia contest. And let me tell you, they go through, and it's sort of like a single elimination. Like if you get a question wrong, you're out, unless the people after you can't get that question right. And round 1 is fairly straightforward trivia. Round 2 gets tough. And then the round 3, to really will it down to the point where they can do a final Jeopardy with like 2 or 3 people, is like super tough. Like they're asking how many, boysenberries are in each muffin in episode 12 of some, show scene or something like that. But anyway, they get down to it. They do the trivia contest. I think these were the final 3 guys in the trivia contest that were in the final Jeopardy style, doing their bets and all that. Super hard questions, a lot of fun. I think this guy won And then I went over to the Airbnb I stayed at. Real picturesque up here in the Pacific Northwest. You got to have a ceiling fan. This is my little room I had. Nice jet tub. I don't know what this has to do with the TV show. But anyway, then they had the dinner out at the golf course where we got to meet some of the people who had been on Twin Peaks. I'll show you some of those photos. There's me. What am I doing? This shirt is too big. I don't know what I'm doing. But you can see these mountains in the back. It's very picturesque. When they talk about Twin Peaks and the mountains, this is what they were going for in the show. And the location really is a character of its own in the Twin Peaks universe. There's Warren, a buddy. I took some photos for him. And the problem was I had this camera that it was like I didn't really have a good low light, fast lens. So a lot of my photos turned out super blurry just because of the mood lighting that we had in here. So it was real tough. Like here's the One-Eyed Jack's neon poster. It's tough getting these photos. But this chair, I believe one of these chairs, they had these chairs set up like the Red Room from the show. If you haven't watched the show, don't worry about it. But one of these chairs was literally the chair used in the movie. So that's cool. A bunch of people wanted to sit there. I got a lot of blurry photos in 2015. I think later I got a better camera or something or took some better photos. But, they have the celebrity panel of some of these people. So 2015, we had the actress who played Ronette Pulowski. We had the actress who played Mike. This guy here, he played the little kid in Fire Walk with Me that runs around with a stick. We had Dick Tremaine. He's over here. And we had, I think this is the lady that played Audrey Horne's mom. She's a local, I think. She lives in the area. And then the log lady, of course. And then of course, we have Charlotte Stewart down here who played Bobby Briggs' mom. And she was also in Little House on the Prairie. She was the school teacher. So that was her claim to fame, of course. And we got to meet all of them. Oh, and of course, Lucy from the sheriff's station here was there as well. So over the years, I've met multiple celebrities from the show, actors from the show. There's me and Ronette Pulowski. There's Mike. We had the big dinner and the Q&A and the costume contest. Oh, see, there's the log lady doing the costume contest and all these people. There's the guy from the movie Fire Walk with Me. It's just a wild time. Yeah, we had a good time. Let's get to some of the more. We got to find some of the there's the chair, famous chair, and the low light really gave this really surreal effect to my photos here in this room. There's some people from my table, and we had a good time. Oh yeah, and you can recognize some of these costumes from the costume contest if you've seen the show. But anyway, and then we're hanging out at the Grange for some things. Wow, it was really rainy that year. Every other time I've gone, it's been like super hot weather. I don't know. This is the state park where there's a scene that's pivotal in the pilot where they videotape a picnic, and this is where the picnic was videotaped. So everybody's out there checking that out. I don't know. Is that a big deal? Like, this is how obsessed you get with the show. Here's this was the Big Ed's gas farm, the gas station, as filmed for the pilot and everything. And of course, the gas pumps are gone, and they built this front in front of it, this frontage on this building. I think they built it. This is where the gas pumps would have been around here, so the cars could have come in, and you can see all those scenes in the pilot where they're at the gas station and there's drama and all of that. And then, of course, Big Ed and his wife Nadine live across the street in this house, which is literally right there as well. So that's the house from the show. This is the Roadhouse, classic Roadhouse bar location from the show. This is the exterior for the Roadhouse. The interior is filmed somewhere else. And this little building back here, there's a place in the show called the Book House. And this little building is the Book House. And you can't really get to it now. And apparently one year the tour group went to go look at it or something, and some guy came out with a shotgun and told them to, I don't know if they were, who knows if they were up to no good or what. But anyway, you can't get near it anymore. But that's how it goes out there in the Pacific Northwest. Trespass at your own risk, right? But anyway, you can see it from the public parking lot. And then the Salish Lodge up there in Washington, they have, Let's Rock. Somebody had a nice decal on the back of their vehicle here. this is where, so, this is basically the Great Northern Hotel from the Twin Peaks TV show. There's a door here. Audrey Horne comes out of the door, or whatever, and gets into a car in the pilot. There's the famous waterfall, so we go up there, and you can see, here it is. This is kind of the iconic style shot of the hotel above the waterfall. This is a great place to go. Everybody goes there and takes selfies and photos and videos and all that, especially when the waterfall is raging. And we got the Let's Rock Volkswagen. Yeah, it was a good time, guys. And I don't know why I took a photo of this milk barn. I just thought it was a weird looking building. And then why did I take a picture of this? There was some reason I took a picture of this. I don't know. There's a place, Ronette Pulaski, who was played by the lady from the dinner, walks across this bridge. So everybody calls this Ronette's Bridge. So we get to go see that on the Snoqualmie River up there. What happened to Josie? Good question. And, Twin Peaks, graffiti and all that. And then this is the Packard Sawmill, or what's left of it. I think in the show there were sort of 2 smokestacks, and now there's only one left, and the building's kind of fallen apart, but it's still out there. It's right across from this building, which is sort of a rally driving school out in the middle of nowhere. But this is the building they used as the sheriff's station in Twin Peaks. And so we got to go in. They were nice enough to let us, they know everybody comes out here every year to do this, so they let us go in and take some photos and see everything. And then, of course, the iconic place where they put up the Welcome to Twin Peaks sign from the intro credits of the show and all that jazz. You can see it here. When the cloud cover is a little lighter, you can see the mountains in the background. It looks just like the TV show here, depending upon the angle of the lens you're using and all that. So there I am, doing the thing. Okay, yeah, and then people were doing that. And it's just a great place to hang out and vibe in. And then, of course, we went to the state park, Olali State Park, where there's a lot of scenes from the prequel movie were filmed out here. So if you see scenes in the movie where they're out in the woods, it's nighttime, they got flashlights, and you're like, oh, it's spooky. Those were happening out here. And we had a nice picnic out in the state park and games and all that jazz, rock throwing contests and all that. If you've seen the show, you'll know what that means. But yeah, a good time. Good times. Lots of shots from the prequel movie were out here. And then I'm back. I think I'm rummaging around the river near my Airbnb at this point, probably near the end of the trip. I don't really remember. What was I doing? A lot of nature scenes. The amazing thing is that one of these tree stumps, I think it might be this one here. Let me move my mouse. I think it's this one here. This actually shows up in season 3 of Twin Peaks. And I took a photo of this in 2015 before I knew they would they shot a scene here. And I have a photo of it. And I just thought it was like, this is a cool photo to take. So that was kind of neat. When I saw that on TV on Showtime, I was like, wait a minute. I have a photo of that place. I know where they are. It was pretty cool. So that was fun. And I don't know, so many nature shots here I took a lot of photos, guys. What am I doing? Yeah, and so here's the guy that plays Dick Tremaine in the show. I think he's done some soap opera work as well and some other things. Great British accent and everything. Cherry Pie, very picturesque. And of course, this cabin here is the sheriff's office for, I think they call it Deer Mountain Sheriff Station in the prequel movie. So that happens there. I don't remember if we got to go inside in 2015 or I think we had to stay outside. I have been inside it because there's a scene with Chris Isaac and Gary Bullock inside, and I've been in there as well. And then here's Josh, who is sort of like eidetic memory sort of guy when it comes to Twin Peaks trivia and all of that, giving a little tour, which was fun. And then, oh yeah, we threw the rocks, and then the sky is doing its thing. Now, 2015 was interesting because we actually went over towards Seattle and went to the Kiana Lodge. And the Kiana Lodge is a cool place you can rent out, but it is the interior of the Great Northern for the pilot and everything. So it has this iconic woodwork inside that you can recognize from the show, the fireplaces from the show. This spiral staircase, for example, is in several scenes, um, and all of that. And then, of course, you go outside and you're on the beach right here across from Seattle, and there's the big log from the beginning of the pilot. They're out on the beach when the police get the phone call to come out there. So that's right there. That's still there. You can go see that. And we hung out there and had some lunch and had a good time. It's a nice place. The weather was a lot better, I think, that day, and a lot of cool stuff over there. So I took a lot of photos. I mean, I think I took the other times I went, I didn't take this many photos. I've been 3 times, I think, to this film festival. Um, yeah, a pivotal scene in the Twin Peaks pilot episode was filmed here in 1989. Yep, that's right. And good times if you're a fan of the show. But anyway, what have I done? Did I get rid of where did my photos go? Did I get rid of them? Oh, there they are. I just hid my photos from myself. Okay. So you can see some of my photos here. They're real nice. But I just wanted to go through these, and then people go and oh boy, spoiler alert. People go reenact this scene of the body in the plastic for fun, um, and then vote for Judy. Judy's a whole other thing if you watch the show. And then, of course, the cafe, the diner from the show, the Double R Diner. Now, if you go back there today, you'll see they have the Double R sign above the cafe sign. They didn't back then. And they've changed the signage on the outside as well because of the season 3 stuff that they shot there. They painted over all this and put new cool stuff on there for season 3. But that's the diner. There's some people I met, some fans, and we had a great time at the Roadhouse. We had a great time at the cafe. It was a good time, guys. If you get the chance, it's North Bend, Washington, Snoqualmie, Washington. There's websites that'll tell you all the filming locations, and you can go check it out. And it's a great tribute to the life and body of work of director, writer, and filmographer and artist David Lynch, again, who passed away earlier this week at 78. Again, go check out in his memory some of his movies: Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, Twin Peaks. I highly recommend all these. If you stuck around this long, thanks for watching, guys. I know this is a long one, but I kind of wanted to get into some of this. It's kind of fun to go through some of these memories and talk about some of these things. So it's good for me. If you stayed around this long, thanks for watching. I will talk to you later. I'm Bruce Morgan. This is Bruce Morgan Show. Have a good one.